unfortunate way that makes me hate you, love you. So pick me. Choose me. Love me.
Have you ever wondered how a medical drama about surgical interns became one of the longest-running shows in television history? Grey's Anatomy has killed off dozens of main characters, survived multiple cast departures, and still managed to keep viewers emotionally invested for nearly 2 decades. But here's the thing. If you haven't watched it from the beginning, jumping in now feels impossible. That's why in the next 15 minutes, I'm going to break down the first 10 seasons of Grey's Anatomy, the golden era that built this medical empire. I've spent weeks rewatching all 220 episodes and condensing each season into its essential storylines. By the end of this video, you'll understand every major plot point, relationship drama, and shocking death that made Grey's a cultural phenomenon. Season 1. Season 1 introduces us to Meredith Grey, daughter of legendary surgeon Ellis Grey, as she begins her surgical internship at Seattle Grace Hospital. On her first day, she discovers her one-night stand is actually her boss, neurosurgeon Derek Shepard, also known as McDreamy. Meredith forms tight bonds with fellow interns Christina Yang, her person and surgical genius, George O'Malley, the sweet but awkward guy who falls for Meredith, Izzy Stevens, a former model trying to be taken seriously, and Alex Karev, the arrogant jerk who slowly reveals his humanity. Their resident, Miranda Bailey, nicknamed the Nazi, rules with an iron fist while Chief of Surgery Richard Weber harbors a secret. He had an affair with Meredith's mother years ago. The season ends with a bombshell. Derek's wife Addison shows up, revealing he's married, and tells Meredith, "You must be the woman who's been screwing my husband." Season 2. Season 2 ramps up the drama as Derek struggles between Meredith and Addison, ultimately choosing to give his marriage another try, leaving Meredith devastated. Meanwhile, Christina begins dating cardiothoracic surgeon Preston Burke, but hides her pregnancy from him. When she collapses from an ectopic pregnancy, Burke discovers the truth, creating tension in their relationship. The season's most intense moment? Meredith literally puts her hand on a bomb inside a patient's body. When the bomb squad leader dies in the explosion, Meredith faces her mortality for the first of many times. Izzy falls for heart patient Denny Duquette and makes a catastrophic decision, cutting his LVAD wire to move him up the transplant list. He gets the heart but dies anyway from a stroke, leaving Izzy in her pink prom dress lying next to his body. The season ends with Meredith having to choose between Derek and veterinarian Finn, while Burke is shot in a hospital parking lot. Season 3. Season 3 sees Meredith spiral into depression, culminating in her drowning after a ferryboat crash. She crosses to the afterlife where she meets dead characters before being resuscitated by Derek. George impulsively marries Callie Torres but cheats on her with Izzy during a grief-stricken night. Meanwhile, Christina and Burke plan their wedding, but Burke realizes Christina is changing herself for him and leaves her at the altar. The hospital gets a new plastic surgeon, Mark Sloan, McDreamy, Derek's former best friend who slept with Addison. And speaking of Addison, she leaves for Los Angeles, setting up the spin-off Private Practice. The season ends with the original interns passing their exams to become residents, except for George, who fails and must repeat his internship year. Season 4. Season 4 brings a fresh start with our former interns, now residents, supervising their own interns, including Lexi Grey, Meredith's half-sister she never knew about. This shorter season, affected by the 2007 writers' strike, focuses on Meredith and Derek's on-again, off-again relationship and Meredith's therapy sessions to deal with her dark and twisty issues. George repeats his internship and eventually passes his exam, while Christina struggles with Burke's departure and throws herself into surgery. The biggest development? The introduction of Major Owen Hunt, an Army trauma surgeon who immediately connects with Christina by performing an emergency tracheotomy with a pen. The season ends with Derek and Meredith conducting a clinical trial for Alzheimer's, bringing them back together professionally and personally. Season 5. Season 5 takes a bizarre turn when Izzy starts seeing and having sex with the ghost of Denny, which turns out to be a symptom of metastatic melanoma with brain metastases. Meredith and Derek finally commit to each other by writing their vows on a post-it note, unable to make their actual wedding because they give the ceremony to Izzy and Alex when Izzy's cancer takes a turn. Owen's PTSD from Iraq causes him to strangle Christina in his sleep, complicating their intense relationship. Meanwhile, Seattle Grace merges with rival hospital Mercy West, bringing new characters and job insecurity. The season ends with a shocking twist. George joins the army and is hit by a bus saving a stranger. He's so disfigured that no one recognizes him until he traces 007, his nickname, on Meredith's hand. Both George and Izzy flatline in the finale. Season 6 opens with George's death confirmed while Izzy survives, but struggles with memory issues from brain surgery. She eventually leaves Alex after he tells her he deserves better. Seattle Grace Mercy West faces a new challenge when they merge with rival hospital Mercy West, bringing new residents including April Kepner and Jackson Avery. The season builds to one of the most intense episodes in television history. A hospital shooting where a grieving widower hunts down Derek, Richard, and Lexi, blaming them for his wife's death. Derek is shot in the chest, and Christina operates on him at gunpoint. Meredith, who discovers she's pregnant, suffers a miscarriage from the stress. The season ends with the hospital in recovery mode, both physically and emotionally, as the surgeons deal with their collective PTSD. Season 7 focuses on the aftermath of the shooting, with many doctors in therapy. Christina quits surgery, unable to handle the pressure, before eventually finding her way back. Callie and Arizona's relationship hits a rough patch when Arizona wins a grant to work in Africa. When Arizona returns, she finds Callie pregnant with Mark's baby after a one-night stand. This leads to the infamous musical episode when a pregnant Callie goes through the windshield in a car crash. While fighting for her life, she hallucinates the doctor's singing. Meredith and Derek try to adopt baby Zola, but face challenges when Meredith tampers with Derek's Alzheimer's trial to help Richard's wife, Adele, causing them to temporarily lose custody. The season ends with many characters at crossroads. Christina discovers she's pregnant but wants an abortion. Meredith is fired, and Teddy marries patient Henry for his insurance but starts developing real feelings. Season 8. Season 8 marks the last year of residency for our original interns. As they prepare for their board exams and fellowship offers, relationships evolve. April loses her virginity to Jackson, and Christina and Owen divorce over the abortion issue. Mark finally admits his love for Lexi, but it's tragically too late. The season finale features a devastating plane crash that kills Lexi and eventually Mark, who survives initially but is taken off life support in Season 9. Arizona loses her leg, Derek's hand is severely injured threatening his surgical career, and Christina develops severe PTSD. This crash changes everything for the survivors. The season ends with the doctor stranded in the woods, screaming for help that won't come for days. Season 9. Season 9 deals with the aftermath of the crash. The hospital faces a massive lawsuit from the survivors and eventually has to pay them $15 million each. The doctors then use this money to buy the hospital themselves, renaming it Gray Sloan Memorial after Lexi and Mark. Arizona struggles with phantom limb pain and blames Callie for amputating her leg, putting strain on their marriage. Derek undergoes nerve grafts to save his hand, and Christina works in Minnesota before eventually returning. New interns arrive, including Shane Ross and Stephanie Edwards, while April reconnects with paramedic Matthew. Meredith experiences a difficult pregnancy with complications similar to her mother's pregnancy with her. The season ends with a superstorm hitting Seattle. Meredith gives birth during a power outage via C-section, and Richard is electrocuted in the basement, setting up Season 10's opening. Season 10. Season 10 opens with Richard's life hanging in the balance until Bailey saves him. The season largely focuses on the impending departure of Christina Yang, Meredith's person, and one of the show's most beloved characters. Christina is nominated for a Harper Avery Award but doesn't win because the hospital now owns the award. This leads her to accept a position running a hospital in Switzerland, previously run by her mentor and ex-fiancé Preston Burke. April marries Matthew, but Jackson interrupts the wedding to profess his love, and they run away together. Meanwhile, Derek is offered a job with the President's Brain Mapping Initiative in D.C., creating tension with Meredith. The season ends with Christina's emotional departure as she tells Meredith, "You are my person. You will always be my person." Her exit marks the end of an era for Grey's Anatomy. These first 10 seasons of Grey's Anatomy transformed television, breaking barriers with diverse casting, tackling difficult medical ethics, and creating characters so real that viewers mourned their deaths like family members. The show has continued for many more seasons, but these first 10 laid the foundation for what would become the longest-running medical drama in television history. If you enjoyed this breakdown, stay tuned for our next video where we cover the remaining seasons. Don't forget to subscribe for more TV breakdowns and explanations. Thanks for watching.